Well, good afternoon and happy Christmas. You don't sound very excited. Should we try that again? Good afternoon and happy Christmas. Now, who is excited about Christmas Day tomorrow? Very excited, lots of excited small people. Excited big people about Christmas? Phil Jack's excited, that's very good. Now, Christmas is exciting. It's exciting because there's lots of food, and there are lots of presents sometimes, and sometimes there are some special visitors. And I'm so excited because I'm expecting 2 very special visitors. In fact, I've heard they're already here, and they're wrapped in these 2 presents. But the problem is I'm not quite sure who they are. Will you help me work it out? I'm going to need more help than that. Will you help me work it out? Okay, let's ask our first visitor for a clue. So, visitor number 1, can you tell us what you look like?
I'm covered in fur.
Did you hear that? He's covered in fur. Think in your minds, who could that be? Okay, let's ask him another question. Visitor, what do you enjoy doing?
I like playing in the snow, I like eating berries, and I love pulling a sledge.
Does anybody know who our visitor might be? Who do you think it is? It's a reindeer. Any advances on reindeer? One over there? It's a reindeer. Yes? Rudolph. Okay, let's just ask one more clue to make sure. Okay. Could you tell us, what does your nose look like?
Oh, I've got a lovely nose. It's big and shiny. Oh, and it's very, very red.
Oh, I think it's Rudolph. Now, can I have 2 volunteers to help me unwrap the visitor? These 2, come on, guys. Can you unwrap just this one, and let's see who our visitor is? Oh, I think they're right. Whoa! It's Rudolph! Very good.
Hello.
Shall we all say, 1, 2, 3.
Happy Christmas, everybody!
There we go. Okay, we've worked out who our first visitor is. But I think we've got another one. Would you like to help me work out the next visitor? Okay, let's ask the next visitor a question. Very quiet. Could you tell us, please, do you have any brothers or sisters or cousins?
Yes, I do. My brother is called George, and my cousins are called Chloe and Alexander.
Oh, that's a bit tricky, isn't it? Lots of people have brothers and sisters and cousins like that. Let's ask another question. Could you tell us, who is your best friend in the whole world?
My best friend is called Rebecca Rabbit.
Oh, now who has a best friend called Rebecca Rabbit? A hand up there? Go for it. Peppa Pig. Should we ask one more clue to make sure? I think, right, let's ask for a last clue. What does your nose look like?
I've got a lovely nose. It is long and pink. In fact, it's more of a snout.
It's Peppa. Can we have 2 volunteers to help us unwrap it? You can come, and you can come. Come and help unwrap. Let's see who it is. Go for it. Can you unwrap the visitor? Shall I help you? Would you like to help? If you come up these steps. Well done. There you go. Shall we unwrap? Oh, look at that. Wow, we were right. There we go. Well done. It's Peppa Pig. Shall we say Happy Christmas, Peppa Pig? 1, 2, 3. Happy Christmas, Peppa Pig.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, those were 2 very exciting visitor. Do you got another visitor? Okay. I'm going to unwrap this one just to make sure. It's a bit of a funny visitor. It is. It's a baby. That's very strange. Now, why would a baby be such a special visitor? The truth is, 2,000 years ago, the baby Jesus was born, and he was the most special visitor ever. But I think we need a few clues to work out who he is and why he was so special. Here's the first clue. Who is Jesus? Well, here is clue number one. It's some waves from the sea. And if I read the clue, well, it says clue number one, Jesus grew up to be a man who could walk on top of the sea. Isn't that amazing? So if he were here today, he could stand on the beach at Sandbanks and walk on top of the sea all the way to the Isle of Wight. Isn't that amazing? Think in your mind, that's the clue. Who could Jesus be? Okay, let's get clue number two. Well, this is a bit funny. Who knows what this is? Yes? Go for it. Excellent. He's got it, and it's something to make people better. And what does the clue say? Jesus grew up to be a man, and he could make sick people better. So think in your minds, if that's the clue, who could Jesus be? Let's get our third clue. Well, this is a bit funny. It's a tomb. Now, this is where people are put when they die. But this tomb, what's funny about it, it's empty. There's no one in it. And the clue tells us Jesus was killed and buried in a tomb, but 3 days later, he rose again. We've got all our clues. He could walk on water, he could heal the sick, and he could rise from the dead. Now, who do you think Jesus is? Think in your minds your answer, and let's see if you're right. Here's the verse. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. Jesus is God. That is who the most special visitor ever is. Jesus is God. And that means because Jesus came into the world as a baby, all of us can know God. We can know the Creator God who made everything, who made you and me. That is amazing, because Jesus came into the world. That's why he could walk on water. That's why he could heal the sick. And that's why he could rise again from the dead. And if we were to look back in the Bible, a few verses before that verse, we'd see something else amazing. We'd see that Jesus is God come to save people. But what does it mean for Jesus to save people? Here's a clue. When Jesus was about my age, he was killed and nailed to a cross like this one. And he was treated like one of God's enemies so that we can be God's friends. That's what it means for God to save people. It meant he would die for people. So Jesus is God, and he came to save people. And that is why Jesus is the most exciting and amazing thing about Christmas. The food and the presents and the other visitors are good, but actually Jesus is the best bit, because he's God and he came to save people. And every single Sunday at Christ Church Westbourne, we want to help people to come to know Jesus, who is God. So you might be 2 years old or 20 years old or 80 years old, but every Sunday you could come back and you would hear about Jesus, who is God. So you might have tried Pebbles, the mums and toddlers group. Why not come back on a Sunday in January and hear more